what is new in Microsoft certification. So my name is Bekim Daouti. I work as the external instructor for the QuickStart. And so this webinar is actually being organized by the QuickStart. I'm also the founder of the Daouti startup, which is dealing with the virtual trainings, actually virtual instructor-led trainings via the internet, but for the Albanian audience or participants. So I have bachelor's in informatics with the University of Tirana. I have master's in information technology with the University of Maryland, University College Europe. Just recently I've enrolled with Aspen University, the doctoral degree in computer science. I hold several certifications from the information technology industry, starting with ECDL, the very first one back in 2004, and then continued with the Certiport. In Certiport, mainly you're looking after the certifications, obtaining certification actually from the Microsoft Office specialist. Then I went on obtaining or earning certification from the CompTIA, A+, Server Plus, Network Plus, Security Plus, then with Cisco, CCNT, CCNA, and then obviously with Microsoft more certifications, starting with Microsoft Technology Associate certifications, and then moving towards the Microsoft Certified Professional, Microsoft Certified System Administrator, Microsoft Certified System Engineer, and then also with Sun Microsystems, primarily in programming field with the Java, such as the Sun Certified Java Programmer. And obviously, I'm a Cisco Certified Academy Instructor since 2002 and a Microsoft Certified Trainer since 2005. You can reach me via my email, the one that you are actually seeing on this slide, bekim@daouti.com, and my cell phone, 383-455-34123, if you think that I have the answers for your questions. Okay, so let's move on and see what we have in this particular webinar in terms of the objectives that we're going to cover. Well, we're going to cover the new role-based certifications. Honestly, there is no new role-based certifications in Microsoft because Microsoft is one of the leading companies in information technology, as you might know, that had actually introduced these role-based certifications. So role-based certifications are not new, but new is the thing that the role-based certification is now a leader from the certification program of the Microsoft. Therefore, we're going to talk a lot of the new stuff regarding how the role-based certifications are actually being organized by Microsoft. Okay, the new thing is retiring the MCSA, MCSD, MCSE certification. So you will be actually knowing more regarding this particular stuff, okay? And then why we need to have a Microsoft certification. So you will find out the reasons why you need to go for the Microsoft certifications, okay? You will then find out how you get certified. So if you're actually looking after earning or obtaining the Microsoft certifications, you're very much interested to find out how you actually get certified in the Microsoft technology, primarily earning or obtaining Microsoft certifications. Then move on. How do we earn a badge? In this case, Microsoft badge. Okay, and then find out useful information or important information which are going to help you in the process of actually obtaining your favorite Microsoft certifications. Okay, let's move on and find out if we hold a Microsoft certifications. Okay, I see that we have participants in this webinar, so I'm very much interested to find out whether we hold a Microsoft certifications. Okay, just actually for your information, let's find out who among the participants or attendees of this webinar is actually holding Microsoft certification. So kindly use the chat box to provide the Microsoft certification information that you're actually holding, whether be it one or more than one, because it might be that we have attendees or participants that are having more than one Microsoft certifications. So feel free to use the chat box and provide such information. But if you don't hold the Microsoft certifications, then don't feel embarrassed. Why? Because this webinar is for you as much as it is for those that are actually holding Microsoft certifications as well. Therefore, try to enjoy this webinar, because while certified participants or attendees will be informed with new stuff in Microsoft certifications, for all of you that are making the very first steps in Microsoft technology in general in terms of learning, and then later on preparing yourself and then obtaining or getting a certification from the Microsoft, well, this is a great opportunity to get to know Microsoft certifications and how you can obtain one such certification. Okay, yes, feel free to provide your information via the chat box of this Zoom tool. Okay, interesting thing and unique. Okay, you might have. So I'm actually addressing this thing to the people that are taking part in the webinars. Okay, various webinars, not primarily IT technology. Okay, even other fields of the science and all other fields of the social sciences primarily. Okay, so this is unique. Why? Because in this webinar we're actually giving away an ebook for free. Okay, as you can see in this slide, these are the books that I've actually myself is the author of these books with the PAC Publishing. So I'm the author that is actually working with the PAC Publishing. So we have a ebook of installing and configuring Windows 10 7-698 exam guide. The former exam, the newest one, is the MD100. For all of you that you do have the Windows 10 configuring and installing Windows 10, the newest certification is the MD-100. Okay, then we have the Windows Server 2016 Administration Fundamentals. For information, this is a great book because it helps you to obtain the MTA 98365 certification, which is actually Microsoft Technology Associate certification in Windows Server 2016 in this example. Okay, and then we have the second edition of the Windows Server Administration Fundamentals book, which is actually covering the Windows Server 2019. Again, this one will help you. Although Microsoft did not update the MTA 98-386, 98365 exam code with the 2019 Windows Server. Why? Because as you will learn from this webinar, Microsoft is not planning to actually upgrade the 2016 certification exams with the 2019 at all. Okay, so yes, use the chat box to provide your answers, but be aware, just be aware and know that you need to provide all of the answers, all of the correct answers from all of the questions that we're going to cover in this particular webinar. Okay, let's move on and see what we have for next. Here it is, the very first question. To protect a server in case of a blackout, you should use A or N. Uninterruptible power supply is the option A. Dedicated surge protector is the option B. Power supply unit is the option C. Redundant power supply is the option D. Hot swappable power supply is the option E. And finally, we have the option F, which is the line conditioner. Yes, feel free to use the chat box and provide the correct answer. And stay tuned for the other questions so you can, again, provide the correct answers. And obviously, just when you're actually providing the very last correct answer, please provide your email because we're going to use your email, and by the email send you the ebook. You're actually you can choose among the ebooks that you've seen in the previous slide which one you're actually which is your favorite one, or looking after learning and preparing and getting that particular certification. Okay, let's move on and see what we have. Well, here it is, the very first topic in this webinar, which is actually the new role-based certifications. Okay, as you might have been informed, because obviously, as we've said right at the beginning of this webinar, is Microsoft is among the leaders or the leading companies that actually went on to switch from the product, if we can say product or technology oriented or based certifications, to something more modern, more advanced, known as the role-based certification. So in early 2019, Microsoft launched. So actually it was September 2018 when Microsoft announced that it's going to make a switch, a big change in the certification program. And then the early 2019, Microsoft actually went live with the role-based certifications. Okay, so what are the role-based certifications? Well, the role-based certifications are actually new certifications designed to offer career-focused qualifications specifically designed to neatly align with the existing job roles. Okay, so these new certifications from Microsoft were actually called role-based certifications because this type of certifications is showing that the certified candidates are keeping the pace with today's technical roles and requirements, which matters a lot, primarily from the perspective of the employers. Okay, so like that, then by becoming certified, the candidates are actually proving to the employees that they possess, or they actually have the expertise, okay, they can prove to their peers as well, and like that actually get the recognition and the opportunities in order to build a great professional career. Okay. What else do we have? Actually, is that even that despite such an introduction, okay, maybe in the back of your head, you might still have the question of why Microsoft needed to make such a switch from product-oriented certifications, as we've said, product or technology-oriented certifications, to something new, modern, advanced, role-based certifications. Well, the answer to this one would be that apart from what we've said as the definition for the role-based certifications, it might be that, as you might know, nowadays within any company or organizations, be that a tech-based or some other type of the company or organizations, the IT roles are no longer so general as it is like the system administrator role or the system engineer. Instead, each of these titles have subheadings such as the Azure administrator or Azure security engineer, and some even are subcategorizing furthermore and further into some highly niche and specific roles. So all this actually specific career roles that Microsoft is aiming is to target with the new certification rollout in order to aim to provide training that is more focused in job specific instead of a general overview of a career sector. Proceeding furthermore, so we are at the how actually Microsoft has organized the new role-based certifications within the Microsoft certification program as the general one. Okay, so Microsoft has a role-based certifications path for many technical job roles, such as we will find out developers, administrators, solutions architects, functional consultants. Okay, so pay attention the word that I said, job roles. Okay, so role-based certifications are designed in order to align to the job roles of today IT tech industry. Okay, so when we mention developers are designed are actually the thing that proves that the people or the candidate that are certified with the developers or have already obtained developer certifications, they are capable, they have the skills and the knowledge to design, to build, to test, and maintain cloud solutions. So this actually can be proved to the employees that those particular certified developers can design, can build, can test, and maintain the cloud solutions. What else? The administrators, the certified administrators from the role-based certifications can actually implement, monitor, and maintain Microsoft solutions. So yes, they have the knowledge and skills in order to implement, monitor, and maintain Microsoft solutions. And when we say Microsoft solutions, remember that nowadays Microsoft is actually, all of the solutions from the Microsoft are in the Azure, or they're saying in Microsoft Cloud. Okay, what else? What other type of the job role certifications we mentioned earlier? Solutions architects, candidates with the solutions architects credentials, they have the expertise to compute, to network, to storage, and to actually have the skills and the knowledge in security field as well. And then we have the final job role, as it is organized by the new or the role-based certifications of the Microsoft, the functional consultants, the certified candidates that can leverage Microsoft Dynamics 365 to anticipate and plan for customer needs. Okay, other than job roles, each of role-based certifications consists of passing a series of exams in order to earn a certain certification. Okay, so then based on this, the role-based certifications are organized into 3 levels. The very first one, as you can see from this particular slide and this image on this slide, is actually the fundamental certifications. The very bottom one on this particular table, that is the fundamental certifications, which are ideal for individuals that are starting or making that entry point in the Microsoft certifications or in Microsoft technology in general in terms of learning it, and then validating the skills, validating the knowledge by passing a certification exam, and with it actually becoming certified candidates. Okay, then we have the second row, which is upper than the fundamentals, or the second level, okay, which is the associate certifications. These certifications are helping candidates to validate the fundamental technology skills and knowledge. With this one, actually, the candidates will then pursue a career in technology, or advance or enhance their careers in the technology. Obviously, when we refer to technology, we're actually talking about the Microsoft technology. And then we have the experts certifications. We can conclude that that is actually the top row, the most top row in this particular table. Okay, with the expert certifications, the candidate actually certified with the expert certifications, or having his expert credentials, it's something that is required for them, or the requirement. I'm actually mentioning over here the requirements in terms of how you can become an expert in a certain technology of the Microsoft. It requires 2 to 5 years of deep technical experience and a specific associate level certification in order to reach or achieve that particular path of the role-based certifications. Okay, feel free to address your questions by using the chat box. So we will be not using chat box only to provide the correct answers for the questions, but also like addressing the questions as well. Okay, moving ahead, here is another question. Running a system in safe mode protects the system from viruses, option A. Option B is protects the system from data loss. C, loads a minimum number of drivers. And D, prevents unauthorized access. Okay, so yes, feel free to use the chat box and then provide actually the correct answer. Let's move ahead. Interesting for you would be retiring the MCSA, MCSD, MCSE certifications. Okay, so with the role-based certifications on stage, actually on February 28th of this year, we can say a month and a half from now, Microsoft announced that it will retire all remaining Microsoft Certified Solutions Associate, MCSA, Microsoft Certified Solutions Developer, MCSD, and Microsoft Certified Solutions Expert, MCSE certifications on June 30, 2020. Okay. Additionally, Microsoft has also no plans to offer Windows Server 2019 or SQL Server 2019 certification. As I said earlier, when I was actually going in terms of the introducing the topics that we're going to cover in this particular webinar, I said there that, and especially when I was actually going over the award of this particular webinar regarding the books that we're going to provide or give it away. I was mentioning that the Microsoft was not going to actually update the certification track of the Windows Server 2016 with the Windows Server 2019. Why? Just because of the fact that the Microsoft has completely organized its certification program from the product or technology-based certifications format to role-based certification format. Okay, and additionally, we can say that Microsoft is advising those already in the midst of the working toward certification should work toward passing required exam before that date, and that date is actually the June 30, 2020. But wait until the end of the webinar, and I have a surprise for you regarding this particular date. Okay, you will find shortly afterwards. At the same time, we can say that those that are actually aiming to pursue certifications such as the MCSA, MCSD, or MCSE, we're talking over here the candidates that have actually planned or simply targeting to achieve these credentials. They actually need to reference them for actually need to switch to the role-based certifications. Okay, for the candidates that do hold these sort of the certifications, for example, myself is the MCSE certified in the SharePoint 2016, then definitely we can reference them up to 2 years after the deadline. The deadline is actually the June 30, 2020. So say that we can reference those certifications until 3 June 2022, okay? And then after that point, the certifications are going to be marked as inactive. Okay, moving forward, let's see what else do we have. Okay, and obviously, as I said, Microsoft is actually no plans to offer Windows Server 2019 or SQL Server 2019 certification. So it's no upgrade or update in the certification track of Windows Server 2016, because that was the old format, which we already mentioned, the product-based or the technology-based format certificate, okay, or certification. Another question. By default, the group policies are first applied to network computers when the computer is backed up, computer starts up, user accesses shared drive, and users runs GPU result.exe. Feel free to use the chat box and provide the correct answer. Okay, moving on, why we need to get a Microsoft certifications. Okay, now more than ever, trainings and certifications are very vital to fuel a successful career. So if we want to have a successful career, we need to pursue, we need to obtain, we need to target, we need to go for the certification. Why? Because it's trend of 21st century. Okay, actually the way that the schooling is actually organized, we have kind of a formal schooling that you go up, let's say up to the bachelor degree, or proceed then furthermore with from the academic perspective, a master and the PhD. Okay, or you go with the professional schooling, and then professional schooling. Among the professional schooling, you have actually the information technology. Then definitely you need to learn the technology, be able to use the technology. When I say be able to use the technology, I'm referring be able to play with that particular technology in order to deploy the technology, in order to actually design solutions and then maintain that particular technology. But sooner or later you will end up obtaining certification, because you need to validate your skills in order to prove to the employees. Okay, thus Microsoft certifications makes technology professionals more likely to get hired and be productive faster, make noticeable business impact in their jobs, okay, and advance their careers by getting promoted. Another very important reason why we need to get a Microsoft certification is that Microsoft certifications, as it is the case with the Cisco certifications and the other IT industry certifications, let's mention over here the CompTIA, which is neutral organization supported by the well-known IT industries such as the Microsoft, the Cisco, the IBM, the HP, and the rest. Okay, so along as I mean, in the same format as the Cisco certifications, the CompTIA certifications are well recognized certifications in demand by the employers. Then in this regard, Microsoft certifications are preferred certifications among the employers as well. So by having a Microsoft certification, and by knowing the technology, and validating that particular technology, that particular skills and the knowledge with the certification, improving that certification to the employers, then there's a great potential for you to get hired. And obviously by moving, enhancing and advancing your career furthermore in terms of getting more and more certifications, whether from Microsoft or building your certifications with the other IT industry as well, then obviously you're building yourself a great professional information technology career as well. Okay, proceeding furthermore. Here is another question over here. Okay, interesting one, because we're mentioning over here domain controller. A domain controller that is designed to perform a set of specialized domain control tasks is commonly referred to as A or N. Windows Internet Name Service, Wins Server. I'm sorry, Operation Masters, Organizational Unit, Primary Domain Controller. Feel free to use the chat box and provide your correct answer. Okay, how do we get certified? Okay, assuming that we are interested. Okay, so we are actually attending this particular webinar, and then the reason why we're attending, because we are interested in obtaining Microsoft certification. certification. We might be new in terms of learning the technology of the Microsoft, or maybe we know the technology of Microsoft, but somehow we did not decide to actually go for the certification exam and become certified. Okay, over here we're going to provide you some very useful information regarding how we can get certified, and then with that actually complete the certification exam and become certified. Okay, so know that certifications enable a professional edge by providing globally recognized industry endorsed evidence of skills and mastery, demonstrating the abilities and willingness to embrace new technology. Hence, to get certified, it all begins with the desire to learn. The higher the desire to learn, the greater the chances to become successful in getting the skills and knowledge. But note here that learning, when we say the desire to learn, so learning itself is actually underlining that the candidate must be prepared both theoretically and practically, meaning that the candidate should know that particular technology. When we say should know the technology, actually know the concepts and the definition of such technology and be able to implement that particular technology in terms of designing a particular solution. Okay? And then once we actually know that particular technology, and then we other than knowing the technology, we're able to actually implement, deploy, and then provide solutions with such technology, then actually we can go along and then take that particular certification exam. But just before doing that one, Microsoft understands that everyone has different learning preferences. Thus, it provides training and certifications options throughout certification journey. Okay. I will stop myself over here because I have, I think, a question. Let me see. Okay. Okay. It was just an correct answer and not a question. Pardon. Okay. So let us not talk a little bit regarding how we can learn the technology. So how we actually what sort of the process we need to follow in order to actually learn the Microsoft technology. Well, we can learn Microsoft technology from free learning paths that the Microsoft itself is actually offering. Okay, some of you that are actually attending this particular webinar, and then you hold the certification from Microsoft, most probably you went you've attended courses from the Microsoft Virtual Academy. Okay, so one way of learning for free is Microsoft Virtual Academy. But in general, recently Microsoft has organized, including the Microsoft Virtual Academy, which is actually provided in this particular slide, it's free learning path by calling it Microsoft Learn. So use the Microsoft Learn where anyone, or so actually all of us, everyone interested can master core concepts at their speed and on their schedule. In general, candidates have access to training materials, code samples, talking for the developers, and all of us are able to test drive products to absolutely no cost. So this is being offered from the Microsoft via is a Microsoft Learn segment. Okay, what else? The other way of how we can learn technology, primarily Microsoft technology, is via the instructor-led trainings. So along with the authorized and affiliated Microsoft partners, which are known with one name, such as Microsoft Learning Partners or Microsoft Certified Learning Partners or Microsoft Accredited Learning Partners, okay, are actually companies with different names other than Microsoft, but which are actually affiliated by Microsoft, accredited in some format, are offering a breadth of solutions to suit learning needs, empowering to achieve training goals. So this is another way, but it's not for free. It might be cases when they are actually offering a particular course for free, but in general, this is with the payment. But definitely, when we pay, we get the higher quality. I'm not saying that we don't have quality with Microsoft Learn, but if we are beginners, definitely then it is recommended, it is suggested, it is good to actually go to the instructor-led training center, okay, or online. And then what else? Once you've actually learned the technology, which is the first one in that particular diagram that we've actually provided over here in this slide, okay? So we learn the technology, we practice, so we play, as I'm actually using this word, okay, in order to actually put it into the practice, that the thing that you've learned, okay? Then comes the time when you're actually going to pass or need to pass or take the exam in order to pass it, okay? So Microsoft is partnering with Pearson VUE. So if you want to take an exam, certification exam, you need to actually call the Pearson VUE in order to register your exam. You can actually contact the accredited testing center of Pearson VUE in your city, in your town, in your country, okay? And then visit the accredited Pearson VUE testing center and register your exam. Apart from registering at the testing center, you can register by the website of the Pearson VUE, which is pearsonvue.com. Okay, and then once you register the exam, you're actually at the certain date and certain hour, you show up 30 minutes in advance at that testing center. Okay, follow the procedures there, and then take the certification exam. We hope that you're actually going to pass your certification exam, and then once you pass it, then actually you're going to receive an email from the Microsoft shortly within the 24 to 48 hours or 72, depends for how much it takes for the testing center to upload the results to the Pearson VUE and then Pearson VUE to the exam client, in this case Microsoft. Then once you receive that email from the Microsoft, in this case, which claims that you actually become certified, then in the period of 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to receive the certification and other associated materials that will come actually with that particular certification at the mailing address, the one that you've used to register your exam. Okay. All this then concludes and indicates that and proves that you're actually holding the certification in the Microsoft in certain technology. Okay, and then you have actually been granted the credentials that you are a certified candidate for that particular technology for which the certificate has been issued. Okay, moving then furthermore. Another question, you need to assign permissions to access resources. Which type of group should you use? Work group, security group, organizational group, or distribution group? Provide your correct answer to the chat box. Let's move on. How do we earn a badge? Okay, for all of you that are actually holding Microsoft certification, this is quite familiar to you, but for all of you that are beginners, and actually once you pass an exam and receive an email from Microsoft, the one that we've said just before this slide, okay, then actually claiming that you are certified, and then you will receive another email, and this email is actually the email that is telling you that you're eligible now to actually claim your badge from that particular technology. So you can claim your badge at any time, even if you pass an exam or achieve the certification in the past. It happened that because the claim was not available in the past. That was the case with me, because there should be certifications that I'll pass back in 2005, 2006, or 8 or 9, okay? But I'm receiving now actually the badges, okay? So all badges that you have earned from Microsoft based on your past certifications history are available via the Acclaim platform, which is the acclaim.com, okay? Simply log into your account and claim them, okay? If you don't have the account, obviously you will be for the very first time when you get certified, and then you need to claim your badge, you're going to receive the email with the instructions of how you will be setting up the claim account. Okay, moving on. Important information, okay? This is very useful to all of the beginners primarily, okay? Including the ones that are holding the certification. The one that I've said earlier, that I have a surprise for you that actually are certified in any of the retiring certifications. Okay, so due to the situation created by the coronavirus, Microsoft, together with its business partners, has taken a number of the actions, and those actions are as follows. As an alternative to taking the exams at the testing center, because the testing center are actually being closed because of the coronavirus situation or disruptions, okay, then the online proctoring is available, which allows us, any candidate, to take certification exam in the comfort of our homes or offices, if we're actually working at the premises. Okay, what else? Surprise for those candidates that are actually holding certifications such as MCSA, MCSD, MCSE, okay? And for me, including over here, extending the requirement date for the MCSA, MCSD, MCSE certifications and related exams until January 31st, 2021. Okay, to give more time to complete the exams and earn the certifications. So it's not the June 30, 2020, but it's January 31st, 2021 that Microsoft has extended. Okay, if we have a Pearson VUE, okay, we might have purchased or maybe got for free, okay? If we have a Pearson VUE voucher exam, okay, or discount offer that is expiring in between March 26th and August 31st, 2020, that is going to be extended until January 31st, 2021 as well, okay? And then interesting is that both Microsoft and Microsoft Learning Partners have moved in-person or instructor-led training to virtual instructor-led training. And as we actually see that a lot of people are working from home, and then obviously the training partners of the Microsoft are providing the trainings via the build, which is virtual instructor-led training. Okay, let's move forward. Resources, useful resources for you to actually explore. So if you're interested to actually read more about the Microsoft certifications and get can I say a very deep overview of the Microsoft certifications, that visit the Microsoft.com/certification. If you are interested in Microsoft optional curriculum, then the aka.ms/mock, which is the Microsoft optional curriculum, in order to get prepared, okay, in order to find out which books or which titles you need to actually use it for a particular Microsoft role-based certification. If you need to access, so that you're making the very first steps, or maybe you're enhancing your certification path, okay, then feel free to visit the Microsoft Learn, which is at the Microsoft.com/learn. Learning partners, you will locate and find out the learning partners, primarily the one that is in your city or in your country, aka.ms/learning partners. And the very last one, resource certification poster, aka.ms/trainsat poster, is another resource, useful one to actually look at.